The First Coast's most accurate forecast from the First Coast News Weather Team, certified by Weather Rate, sponsored by AC Designs.
Happy Tuesday, folks. So welcome in. I am meteorologist Ross Mumal, and Merry Christmas Eve to you, since today is December 23rd. Now just a whopping 2 whole days until Christmas, or even less than that now when you consider the amount of time that's already passed today. So if you haven't gotten all your Christmas shopping done, first and foremost, shame on you. You should have had it done about a week and a half ago. But if you haven't, you still got time. Just try not to be that person running out to Kohl's to buy a last-minute present on Christmas Eve tomorrow. Just don't be that person. But if you do have to, at least the weather is going to be nice. Yesterday, we were in the 60s. Today, we warmed up substantially more than that into the upper 70s. Some locations, especially across inland southeast Georgia, actually did see 80 degrees. So certainly a warm day here. Not so much off to the north, though. I know we have a lot of people traveling in and around not only the Sunshine State in Georgia, but also across the country for the Christmas holiday this week. If you're heading up north, check out upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Boston. Getting in on a little bit of some rain and snow action. I think I've got a camera of it here. There we go. Starting to pull up. So this is out of Montcalm Golf Club, so pretty close to Killington. If you're a skier, you'll more than likely know where that's at. That's essentially right smack dab in the middle of the state of Vermont. They've been getting a decent amount of these snow squalls. Not a lot of snow necessarily. They haven't gotten feet of it, but they've kind of picked up several inches of snow here kind of every 3 or 4 days. So nice little coating of snow for those folks up across the Northeast. Here on the home front, we are far from it. No snow, certainly. No rain either. Now, you'll notice a few light showers off the coast, well off the coast, though. And most of those are really just trying to fire up right along the Gulf Stream where there's some slightly warmer water. So over land here, I mean, crystal clear blue skies, lots of sun. Chances for precipitation today are pretty much at absolute zero. So nothing to be concerned about if you have evening plans outside. Actually, it's going to be a great night to go out and do any sort of, holiday or festive activities that you might have planned with family or friends who are in town visiting for the holiday. If you're heading out to dinner here tonight, sit out on the patio, soak up a little bit of the warmer temperatures and the sunshine before the sun sets right around about 5:30. Because temperatures out there currently, we're anywhere from about 10 to 12 degrees above average. You got 77 in Jacksonville. Now, the coastal areas are going to be a little bit cooler just due to the influence of the relatively cooler waters. Ocean temperatures are in the low to mid 60s right now. So you got low 70s from St. Simon's Island down to Amelia Island, Mayport, Jack's Beach, St. Augustine, all kind of hovering right around that 70-degree mark. But as I mentioned, it was our inland spots, kind of out towards like Baldwin, Sanderson, down towards Lake Butler, Gainesville, Keystone Heights. Earlier today, we did get close to, if not actually reaching, that 80-degree mark. And we're going to see that as a recurring theme here for the rest of your Christmas week or your holiday week. As for the winds, we talked about this a lot yesterday about how they were going to taper off overnight. Yesterday was quite the breezy day with those stiff winds out of the northeast, anywhere from about sustained 10 to 15, gusts upwards of about 25 yesterday, a little bit higher than that in some spots. Today, different story, much calmer conditions, a much more stable atmosphere and environment. So overall, really just kind of a quiet but also mild evening tonight. So as I mentioned, sunset shortly after 5:30 or right around there. Temperatures will then start to cool off into the 60s through the rest of the evening. So yeah, you might need a light jacket later on here tonight. But overnight, we're only cooling into the low 50s. So some locations, especially out at the beach, may only reach the upper 50s or close to 60 degrees. So for some folks, it will be on the chillier side. For others, perhaps not so much. One thing to note, there is the chance for some patchy fog to develop primarily up and along the St. Johns River Basin, the Trout River, the Black Creek, and the intercoastal and coastal area. So really, if you're by a body of water, there's a chance for some patchy fog to develop along there overnight tonight and into early tomorrow morning. So just keep that in mind. I know a lot of folks like ourselves here in news, there are still a lot of folks who do have to go out to work. Whether you work in food service, hotel services or things like that. Our first responders, of course, people who work at hospitals, nurses, things of that nature. There's still a lot of folks who are working on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, so we always want to give you a heads up. We do still have some early morning risers out there getting out onto the roadways. But as I mentioned, this is the trend. This is the theme through the rest of this week. We got this nice big ridge of high pressure that was originally over Texas and Oklahoma. That's kind of sliding its way toward us, and we've started to tap into some of that warmer and drier air and energy over the past few hours today, and that'll continue really through the end of the week and even into the weekend as that jet stream itself stays well off to our north. So the polar jet, which can often steer some of the bigger storm systems, whether they're rain or snowmakers for northern parts of the country, that's well off to our north. So that's kind of just leaving us high and dry. So if we're not getting influenced by the polar jet trying to dip down, then we typically have to look for where's that subtropical jet stream that comes up out of Mexico and Central America and the Caribbean at times during this time of the year to try to give us a wave of moisture or a bout of energy to cause a storm system. That's also well to the south. So we're kind of in that middle area where the upper level winds, similar to the surface winds, pretty quiet, not a whole lot going on, not a whole lot steering our weather here, so to speak. So get out and enjoy it while you can. For your Christmas Eve tomorrow, as I mentioned, maybe some patchy fog early in the morning with temperatures starting off in the low to mid 50s, but then fog burns off pretty quick. I'd say by 8 to 9 a.m. at the latest. At the very latest, fog is completely gone by 9. Still cool initially, but then once that sun comes out, we heat up pretty fast. We're up to the low 70s by lunchtime tomorrow, and then upper 70s with inland locations pushing close to about 80 degrees by tomorrow afternoon. And yeah, that's a perfect look at it. McClenny, Folkestone, Waycross, all near 80 tomorrow. Excuse me, I think I'm going to sneeze. Oh, bless me. Whew. Okay. Back at it. So yeah, inland locations, certainly going to be on the warmer side. Coastal areas, not so much. It's going to be in the mid 70s. So still warm. If you're planning on making it a beach day, I know our one sports anchor and sports reporter, I guess perhaps I should say, and news anchor, Channing Tatum. Or not Channing Tatum. Oh, God. Channing Curtis, man. Hopefully Channing's not watching this right now. I know she's going to the beach is what I'm trying to say. Sorry, Channing. So it'll be a nice day for it. Temperatures out at the beach, low to mid 70s in some spots. There's going to be a real light north-northwest wind, which should kind of flatten out the ocean a little bit. Now, water temperatures are going to be on the cool side. I went the coldest I possibly could, really, with the water temperature. So it's pretty much in the low to mid 60s, kind of developing on where you're at in the surf zone and how the water mix is. But it is going to be a pretty cold jolt to the system if you do happen to get into the water out there tomorrow. But there is a nice little live look out at the Jacksonville Beach Pier tonight. Looking pretty good. A few folks walking around out there. So overall, yeah, your Christmas Eve, if you have last minute shopping to do, if you're going to the ice rink over in Riverside underneath the bridge there, looking good for that tomorrow evening as well. I believe they're open until about 7 p.m. Tomorrow night. We'll talk more about kind of your Christmas Eve evening then. But there's also a look kind of at the rest of the country. I know a couple different people who are still flying to their destinations for Christmas tomorrow. A few things to keep in mind. That system up across the Northeast, although it is going to move offshore, is going to wrap in some pretty strong winds. So I would expect some significant turbulence if you're flying into New York City. So that's JFK or LaGuardia. If you're flying up toward Boston, you'll see the wind icon there as well. If you're traveling around the southeastern part of the country, either flying and or driving, you're looking good. No rain concerns. It's going to be warm pretty much from Nashville to Charlotte down to Miami. And then as you head west, Oklahoma City in the central part of the country, Dallas even, could certainly be on the windy side, although it will be warm. Really the trouble spot is going to be the west coast from Seattle to Portland to San Francisco to LA and San Diego. Decent amount of rain, cold temperatures relatively for those folks out there. So West Coast might be the trouble spot where you run into some weather delays. Here, though, we will not. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk more about your Christmas Eve forecast and how it's looking for Santa's flight around the world and his reindeer after we take this short break. Welcome back in, folks. Happy Christmas Eve to you. As I said at the top of the show, we want to give you kind of a look ahead to what's in store for your Christmas Eve evening tomorrow night. Of course, we know a lot of families and friends are getting together for kind of like a Christmas Eve dinner. You might have your, just family traditions that you go and do every year. Maybe you're just staying in, and if that's cool, or if that's what you're doing, then that's great. You don't really have to worry necessarily about the forecast. But if you are going out somewhere, perhaps to a Christmas Eve service tomorrow night, I know there's going to be a lot of those around Jacksonville and the First Coast area. Honestly, weather is looking pretty good and pretty comfortable for it. By 7:30, temperatures still more than likely going to be in the upper 60s, and then continuing to cool off. So by 8 to 9, mid to low 60s. If you're out a little bit later, perhaps a midnight service tomorrow night, midnight mass even, temperatures certainly will be on the chillier side, mid to upper 50s, but it won't be raining by any means. And as the entirety of the morning and afternoon will be sunny, that will also continue the dry and clear skies part into tomorrow night. So if you have any kiddos who are worried about Santa trying to find their house, get into their house to deliver all those presents, Santa should have no, at least weather concerns out there tomorrow night. He probably won't even need to use Rudolph. Rudolph can just kind of sit back, relax this year. It can take it easy. Doesn't have to worry about trying to get through the fog or any big old snowstorms out there. As Santa's climbing down your chimney on Christmas Eve tomorrow night, it might be a little bit chilly for him. So yeah, he'll probably still need the Santa suit and at least that Santa hat. Temperatures right around midnight in the mid to upper 50s and continuing to cool off into the mid 50s during the overnight period here on the First Coast. So it'll be chilly, but probably not to the point that it'll actually be snowing here like it is there for Santa. So that is your Christmas Eve evening outlook. By Christmas morning, you're waking up with temperatures in the low to mid 50s, lots of sunshine, a beautiful day. I mean, the sun's just going to be streaming in as you're opening or really just tearing apart those presents. And then by the afternoon, merry and bright really are the best two words to probably describe it. Temperature is going to be in the upper 70s there for your Christmas day. Inland locations could push close to 80 degrees. Now, I will note, we forecast specifically for the Jacksonville airport. So that's 78 degrees is for the airport itself. All-time warmest Christmas on record actually happened 10 years ago this Christmas, set back into 2015 with a high of 82 degrees. So we will not hit that. I think we'll be a few degrees shy of it, but we may not even break into the top 10. I know saying a high of 78 on Christmas sounds and feels rather warm, but when you look at these numbers, meteorologist Lee Southwick put these together for us yesterday. 82, warmest ever. 81, 81, 08, and 84. You got a couple 80s there, 87 and 74, and then a string of 79s dating from the 80s all the way back to the 30s. So we will have to at least hit 79 degrees to even break into the top 10 warmest Christmases on record. And as it's noted there, typically our normal high temperature on Christmas Day is 66 degrees. So we're going to be anywhere from about 10 to 13, 10 to 14 degrees above average when you're talking about those afternoon high temperatures here on the First Coast for your Christmas Day. So warm and sunny here across Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. Elsewhere across the country, if you are heading somewhere else, you're talking 30s up across the northern plains and upper Midwest and the Great Lakes region from Minneapolis to Detroit. Chicago, low 40s. As you head further west, could see some mountain rain and snow west of Denver and into the Continental Divide, but West Coast is still going to kind of be in the slop of it. Cooler, certainly, and quite rainy as well. From LA up to San Francisco, Sacramento, Redding, Portland, Seattle, all have a good chance for rain. So if you want to go somewhere without any rain, really the East Coast is probably your best bet, if not just right here in the Sunshine State. Not expecting anything like that here locally. For your Friday, not much of a change. Another warm, sunny, dry day. Temperatures upper 70s, if not very, very close to 80 degrees. So, yeah, the weather's going to be rather quiet here for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Friday, Saturday. I mean, you got family in town, head out to the beach. It's going to be great beach weather, especially for this time of the year. Any outdoor plans that you have, if you're going to a park, if you're going to go check out Christmas light displays, if you're still going, shopping, or maybe returning something that someone got for you that you don't like, and you're taking it back to the store already, getting a little, store credit back or something like that, you're in luck. You really don't have any weather concerns through at least Saturday and Sunday. Other things that are going on here, I forgot to mention this, Tax Layer Gator Bowl. That's going on over at Everbank Stadium, 7:30 p.m. kickoff on Saturday night between the Virginia Cavaliers and the Missouri Tigers, or Mizzou Tigers. Our own morning producer, Sean, is a Mizzou alum, played in the band there. I'm sure he will be going to that game on Saturday night. It'll be nice. I mean, kickoff, as I mentioned, 7:30, temperatures at kickoff right around 70 degrees, if not already starting to cool into the upper 60s. But truly feeling and looking like football weather out there. No rain in the forecast Saturday evening as Virginia and Missouri come to town. So that should be a good one and a fun night over at Everbank Stadium. If you got any other Christmas parties going on this weekend, looking good, you're in luck. So next big front or system that we're tracking, because we're always trying to look ahead to see, okay, what's the next big or largest impactful thing to you here locally? And it's going to be this strong storm system that really the bulk of it stays well off to the north. So you'll notice there that low pressure system rides right across the Great Lakes. It'll bring rain and snow to the mid-Atlantic and northeast. The trailing cold front behind it, though, will bring some rain to areas just north of us. So we're talking northern Georgia and Alabama, the Carolinas, Virginia. They will get rain, but modeling, it's often done this the last really 2 months or so. It will show about 7 to 8 days out that there will be moisture in place. The front will come in and it'll bring us some rain. And then as you get closer and closer and closer to the event, that moisture content kind of begins to wither away a little bit, and we end up really not getting anything. And that's kind of what I'm expecting here this time as well. I do think southeastern Georgia may get some showers as the front starts to move in on Monday morning, but most of us aren't going to see a whole lot in the way of actual rainfall. An increase in cloud cover, sure, but front's really not going to bring us the beneficial rain that a lot of inland and northern locations need here. Now, what it will do is bring in a major blast of cold air. We're going to talk more about that here after we take another quick short break. Welcome back in, folks. Hopefully you will get to, get out and enjoy some of the sunshine and warmer weather and temperatures here over the next few days, because as always, it's not going to last forever. At some point, the scales will tip back the other way, and the warm air will move south and disappear, and we're going to get another blast of cold air. And that's really what we're expecting for the last really day or two of 2025. So here comes the next front. Not going to get a whole lot of rain from it, as I had mentioned, but significantly colder air will move in behind it. So here's that very warm air in place, and we'll kind of watch the battle between the heat versus the cold. Pretty much just slides south and disappears, and then here comes that polar vortex, essentially, down across much of the Great Lakes and Mid-Atlantic and Northeast by Monday and continuing into Tuesday. And that's really when you're going to start to notice this huge temperature change. So we're going to be in the upper 70s on your Sunday. As that front moves in throughout the day on Monday, temperatures will continue to drop. I went with a high of 64 degrees on Monday. There will be the chance for a few stray showers, primarily across southeastern Georgia. But I do think Monday may be one of those days where we actually hit our high temperature earlier in the morning. And then as that front continues to push south, as the colder air continues to sweep its way in with those northwest winds. I mean, check that out, 10 to 20 miles per hour out of the northwest. It's going to be windy, adding in a wind chill factor to this. Temperatures, instead of warming up through the afternoon, may actually just hold steady or gradually decrease as your Monday wears on. So Monday's really going to be that transition day, and then we're looking ahead to the 30th and eventually the 31st there for your New Year's Eve, for Tuesday and Wednesday being New Year's Eve. Much colder. We're talking high temperatures stuck in the 50s, lows in the 30s. So I do think Monday night and into early Tuesday morning, we are going to have to watch for not only frost advisories, but at this point, I am expecting freeze watches and potentially freeze warnings then to be extended across many of our inland locations. So yeah, we're kind of getting this false sense of a summer, so to speak, here for your Christmas holiday this week, which is great, but we are going to drop kind of back into reality by the start of early next week. Some folks might be heading back to work. Yeah, you're going to need to be bundled up. So 60s Monday. By the time you wake up Tuesday morning, it will feel like winter outside again, with temperatures in the 30s and more than likely only warming into the low 50s. Some of our more northern and inland locations across southeastern Georgia may struggle to even get out of the 40s there by Tuesday. So looking to be a rather cold start to early next week and a cold end to 2025, because a similar story, although it's not included on the 7-day, for New Year's Eve next Wednesday, during the daytime hours, looking like the 50s. During New Year's Eve evening, leading up to midnight, looking like at least the 40s, if not potentially even cooling off into the 30s. So if you're already kind of planning beyond Christmas Day, yes, it is trending toward being rather chilly. For any of those midnight kisses, you might already be trying to work up and have planned for New Year's Eve next Wednesday. But before we get too far ahead, get out there, enjoy the sunshine and the warm weather here over the next few days. I will be back here at 4:30 for your Christmas Eve outlook tomorrow. Until then, happy holidays, stay safe. I got to go do our 5 p.m. newscast, folks. Take care.